So we've already taken a look at the fantastic Hero 3 action camera along with a number of the accessories that make it so great. Links to all of these reviews are in the description of this video if you need to catch up, by the way. But GoPro have recently released yet another great feature, the ability to use your smartphone to control every aspect of the camera as well as using it as a Wi-Fi remote. Welcome to Ifty's Tech Corner, where today we are taking a closer look at the GoPro smartphone app. Now, we recently took a look at the Wi-Fi remote, which we could use to control all aspects of the camera, including changing menu settings as well as starting and stopping video capture, all by looking at the small monochrome display on the remote itself. Now, at the time I didn't recommend the Wi-Fi remote until we had a chance to look at the actual GoPro app, since the app can supposedly do much more than the Wi-Fi remote. So let's do just that and take a closer look at the app itself. Okay, so before you do anything at all, we need to ensure the GoPro camera itself is up to date with the latest firmware. So pop along to the GoPro website or use the GoPro Cineform software to update your unit. Now, this Hero 3 Black Edition I have here is already up to date, so let's get stuck in with the setting up. First, we need to go into the wireless settings within the actual camera itself. And then we need to go down and make sure we've got the GoPro app menu selected here. And we click the shutter button to switch on the Wi-Fi, and we see the blinking blue light. This basically sets the camera up to accept incoming connections from the app itself. Now we can go across to the app, which is available on Android as well as Apple's iOS platform. Although I'm demoing on my iPhone 5 here, you can also use tablets such as the iPad, for example. Now, if I go into the app, one thing we note straight away for iPhone 5 users is that the app is optimized for the larger screen on the iPhone 5. So there's no black bars at the top or bottom of the screen. Now, I've missed a step on purpose here, and I'll come to that in just a second, but note that we can also view the photo and video of the day, just like we can from GoPro's website or GoPro's Facebook page. Maybe it's just there to flesh out the app a little, but nevertheless, I guess it's related, so why not? Okay, so you'll note here that even though we set the camera up to accept GoPro app connections by switching on the Wi-Fi and selecting GoPro app in the menus, the app still hasn't recognized the actual camera. Remember, I mentioned I had missed a step on purpose a second ago. Well, it's because of that missed step that we can't connect to the camera. So what we need to do before we can use the app is go to the actual settings within the handset itself and browse the Wi-Fi settings. When we get the list of Wi-Fi networks, we'll see you've got the GoPro camera here. Now, on the GoPro camera, when you switch on the Wi-Fi and select the GoPro app option, the camera creates a Wi-Fi hotspot which you need to connect to from your handset. Once you have that connection, you can then use the app to connect to the camera. So I'm in the Wi-Fi connections here and can see my GoPro camera listed in the Wi-Fi list here. So I'll simply select the camera and enter your password, and the default password is simply GoPro Hero. Bear in mind, when you install the latest firmware, you do get a chance to name the camera and set a Wi-Fi password in case you have several cameras and end up getting confused as to which you're connecting to. Why you simply can't go into the app and enter a password, I don't know, but you must create that pairing between the handset and the camera before you can use the app. Now that we've created the connection, we can go back into the app, like so, and we should see that we are now connected to the GoPro camera. So we can see the connect and control button is now active. We can tap on this to connect to the actual camera. Now at the top we see the actual name of the camera here, so when you do your firmware update and you give your camera a name, the name will be displayed here. Underneath this we have a number which indicates the number of recorded clips on the camera at the moment, the Wi-Fi signal strength, as well as a battery status indicator. Underneath this, we've got a preview of exactly what the camera is seeing. By tapping on the preview, we get a larger view, which we can see in both portrait and landscape modes. Now, bear in mind that this streams audio as well as video. It's a great feature, but it does have a lag issue, which we'll take a more detailed look at shortly. In this view, we have a record button, which we can obviously use to start and stop the recording. Now, when you actually start the recording, you can see what is being recorded at any time, although the quality does drop slightly. And then if I stop the recording again, it goes off, it stops the camera recording, it redoes the preview window into a slightly higher quality. We do have another couple of buttons here which are replicated back on the actual main screen. Now this button here, this small I button, if we click on that, that stops the actual preview. So you can stop and start the actual preview window by clicking that one button. Now we've got a button on top, again that's another record button, so we can tap this button to start and stop the recording, just like we did in the full preview window. And we have a button next to this here which starts and stops the camera, so switches the camera on and off. As long as the Wi-Fi on the camera remains on and active, we can click this button or tap this button here to switch the camera on and switch it off, and this is very useful in conserving battery life. Finally, we have, in my opinion, the most useful part of the entire app, the camera controls. By entering this, we get into the nitty-gritty of the camera itself, and you'll probably find yourself in here pretty often. Across the bottom we have all the different camera modes, and we can click between these nice and easy. So as you can see, as I'm tapping on each of these camera modes, the actual camera itself is also changing modes pretty instantly. This makes changing modes nice, quick and easy. Now above this we have another preview button to toggle the preview mode on and off. I'm not entirely sure why this button is here, considering we have no preview window on this screen. Nevertheless, it's there anyway. In the middle we have a locate button. By pressing this locate button, the camera itself, as you can see, begins to beep and all the LEDs on the camera begin to blink. Simply press the locate button again to stop. Say you have 10 cameras in the line, for example, all named appropriately. This feature makes it very easy to connect and locate a particular camera. Probably not something you'd use if you only have 1 or 2 units, but useful if you have more. Finally, we have the settings button. By entering this, we can change every single setting in the camera, ranging from setting the video modes and frame rates right down to checking the battery level and SD card capacity. So we can easily change camera settings, capture settings and general setup options. You can even check exactly how much free capacity is remaining on your card before deleting the last recorded clip or reformatting the card altogether. So overall, the app has some really useful features, some of which you can't actually get to on the camera itself. It really does make the camera a joy to use. Now there are 3 main issues that I can spot with using the app along with the GoPro camera. The first is obviously battery life. With the Wi-Fi switched on, it's obviously going to drain the battery life pretty drastically. I would really recommend a GoPro battery backpack while using this, which we've already reviewed in a previous video. You'll find a link in the description box or at the end of this video. The second issue is heat. The camera really does get pretty warm pretty quickly when Wi-Fi is being used. It's noticeably warm. Just something to bear in mind, especially if the camera is being used in its waterproof housing. Now the third and final issue is a little more serious: preview lag. The lag between the camera and the preview window within the app is pretty extensive. Don't expect to use the preview window on the app as a viewfinder for when you're actually recording videos, as it just won't work. Let me give you an example. I have the camera here and the preview window running in the app alongside it. As I put my hand in front of the camera and move it away again, you can see the preview is a good few seconds behind the video actually being captured on the camera itself. So if you're going to record something and use the app as a viewfinder, you'll always be a good few seconds behind what's actually being recorded. Not ideal, but better than nothing at all. Nevertheless, the preview is still great for lining up your camera to make sure you are shooting in the ideal position before you actually record. So, weighing up the good and the bad, what do I think overall? Personally, I think the app is brilliant. Changing settings and modes has been made so simple, and it's just great being able to completely control every aspect of the camera, from switching it on to changing settings to recording and then to switching it off, completely from your smartphone or tablet. My only main complaint is that awful lag between the camera and the preview window. Hopefully it's something that GoPro can work on, since the Wi-Fi connection should be ample enough to keep up with a live view in my opinion. So hopefully we'll see an update come along soon enough which improves on this issue. Otherwise, if you have a Hero 3 camera and considering the app is free, it's a no-brainer, even if you only use it to change camera settings. Hopefully GoPro will continue to develop the app, but even in its current state, it's very easy to recommend. Feel free to leave a comment below. Keep an eye on this channel for more GoPro videos, backpack reviews, editing tips and tutorials all coming very soon. Please feel free to like this video, it really does help me out. Don't forget to subscribe though, as you'll automatically be entered into my 2013 monthly giveaway. Click the logo above for more details. See you soon on IFTY's Tech Corner.